not only just the new single, but everything else too.
Listen, another big interview
on the KFM Top 40
with Carl Wastie.
Hey, Gwen.
Hello.
Hi, it's Carl Wastie from KFM in Cape Town.
Oh my gosh, good to hear from you. How are you doing out there?
Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, we just missed live music and Gwen Stefani concerts, but we're doing fine. We're handling it.
That's awesome. I feel so lucky to be able to talk to you guys. It feels like a million years since I put out new music.
I've got a whole collection of your music that I actually still play on KFM 94.5. And there's one of your songs that continues to be not only selected, but also rotated on the station. And that is...
What is it?
It's this one. It's that one.
That's so crazy. I think my kids ask me too, like, what do you think your biggest song is? I always say Don't Speak, because I feel like Don't Speak was the one that took us international, like around the world. But I think that song, Hollaback Girl, it's definitely a toss-up between those two.
Well, I mean, if I were to give you a little exploration back into the music that, we still have at the station, I think that you'd probably be here till 4 a.m. in the morning.
You almost made me cry. I have not heard that song in so long, and I love that song. Do you know how I wrote that song?
How?
I wrote that with Tony, and I was trying to write Mariah Carey, We Belong Together. I know it doesn't sound anything like it, but I love how she does her verses in that song, and I was trying to do like that vibe. I got to go back and listen to that. That song is so good. I love that
There
song.
are so many of these tracks that I'm still rotating. That's why I told you, let me reintroduce myself. I'm like, we've been playing you, Gwen. Come on. We know who you are. We love you. And we're going to continue. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're just somebody in music and you're just a girl. Just doing your thing,
Aw. Well, I feel like I might have been reintroducing myself to myself when I wrote that song.
There we go.
I was trying to talk myself down a tree, like, come on, let's do some new music. What are you doing? It's not over till it's over. And I really wanted to make music at the time. I was just looking at the world. It was just so depressing, and how music can be so joyful and hopeful. And I started thinking about when I first discovered music that was the music to define who I was going to be, and that was ska and reggae music.
Yes.
And, I was probably 14, 13, and I wanted to make a record that was going to feel like the way that made me feel at that time. And I feel like that's where this whole thing started. It was like, how do I make a record that feels happy and up-tempo and familiar and nostalgic? And I feel like there's like an exchange of love. And I wanted to consider that when I made these songs, because I'm not going out and buying whatever the music in high school I listened to, their new record. Like, I'm going and listening to the old record. So I wanted to make sure that I considered all those things. It's just a really fun, exciting time for me, because I just wasn't expecting to do it, especially like, I have 3 kids. They're in homeschool. We're in a pandemic. They can't leave the house. And I'm sitting in one room writing a song, and they're in the next room on a Zoom doing school. And I have my little one in the bed with me. And I wrote Reintroduce Myself in my bed with my 6-year-old, like, next to me in a Zoom.
That is so cool.
I know. It's like, I feel really proud of it. It's one thing to write a song, but to do it the way that we did it was extraordinary. So now sharing it and talking to you all the way around the world, and you're playing these songs, it made it all super worth it. I'm super inspired. Thank you.
I'm glad you're inspired. And one thing that I see from many artists who take on reality TV shows like The Voice, there's this thing where, this is my gig now and I'm doing it season over season. And there seems to be such a focus on that reality TV show that I find that sometimes artists, and I would put myself in that position thinking, how do I jump back into the music industry and start creating stuff? And also with the industry that changes so often, it's so fickle in that way. Am I going to jump in and not be seen as somebody, oh, aren't you that girl from No Doubt? You did the Hollaback song, didn't you? So I'm sure for you, was it that type of anxiety around saying, I'm jumping into this, let me reintroduce myself and see where this goes?
Of course. I mean, I think that the longer the 15 minutes gets, the more like desperate you are to want to hold on to it. And there's no way that I wouldn't be honest if I didn't admit that. And I think that I'm saying that in that song and in Slow Clap. And I think that the thing is that once you taste the blood of success, and like, it's not even the success. It's like when you share and pour your heart out in these songs through all these years and you feel that exchange of love with people that actually the songs touch them, that feeling is, there's just nothing like it. So I don't write all the time. Like I don't hardly ever write. Like when I'm writing, I'm writing. Example, the first song I wrote was because someone had sent me a song that they wanted me to cut, and I never get sent songs. And they sent me this song called When Loving Gets Old, and I loved it. And when I went to the studio, they said, no, they wrote this song for you. And I was like, what? That freaked me out. I was like, that's so cool. I love it. I go, why am I not writing with them? If they could write something for me. So I ended up going in the studio with 5 young guys. I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is so weird. And thinking to myself, you just try to torture yourself, don't you, Gwen Stefani? Like, you don't even need to be doing this. But when I got to the session, it was just so cool. Like, we ended up writing a song called Cry Happy, and it was based off of a ton of texts that I had sent to myself that were ideas through the last couple months that I had just been sending myself. That was right before the pandemic. I didn't even get to finish recording it because I had to go back to the kids that day. And I ended up recording it in quarantine when I was in Oklahoma because Blake happened to have an engineer there that I got to hop in the studio and record it. And that was it. Once I heard my voice on that song that I wrote, it's like I can't help it. Like I had to do it. I also do a lot of praying, you know, like a lot of like, God, you just show me what I need to be doing next. I surrender to you. And if the music is going to be there and come, like if I'm going to press that music button and it comes out, then I'm going to go for it. So that's how the whole thing started. And I just really can't believe how many songs that I wrote with so many talented people in such a short amount of time on Zoom. And now to be talking about it and sharing it and also dropping singles without having the album come out. That's really different for me and really fun and inspiring because I feel like every time you write one new song, it changes the whole album.
Yeah.
So it's just the first time I've ever done it this way, which is just, I might as well just keep, going until if I can drop singles, I'll just keep writing. Maybe I'll put 2 records out. Who knows?
I think that's cool. At the times we're in, I don't think there should be a rule book. There shouldn't be a plan for marketing of any sort of music. If you feel it, I'd say drop it and we'll play it. It's as simple as that because that means we're just getting it. Yeah. So I just think I have this thing this year. I said to myself, sometimes I overthink. And in fact, I do it quite often. And if I really trust myself, should I not just do something which is screw it, just do it and stop getting in my own way?
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely what I've had to do every single time I went in a Zoom to write a song. Because you can imagine like when you have a wake of work behind you and you're the hollaback girl or the don't speak girl or whatever that person that you don't know, that you know is going to be super talented and a songwriter is going to think like you're going to come with something. And you don't know if you're going to be able to come with something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you don't know what they're thinking. Like, you don't know what they're thinking about you. So you just have to be brave and be like, screw it. I'm going to just share my heart with this person. And then when you have a song at the end of that, like 3 hours, you just look back and go, what? Like, because the music is just so powerful. Like you have nothing and then you have a song that actually captures a little piece of your life for the rest of your life. And the reality is I don't know who's listening to these songs until I actually go face to face with them live, which is just kind of a drop in the bucket of probably the amount of people that have actually heard my music, which is bizarre and surreal and crazy to me. But I think the reality is that writing the songs, and getting them off of my chest and sharing them. So it's pretty magical. I feel really lucky. I don't take 1 second of it for granted. I swear to you.
I can tell.
Like I said, all you got to do is play the beginning of 4 a.m. and I was like, wow, my heart just sunk. I'm still not over that.
The way I see it is that 2020 has given us the tools that we need to stop doubting ourselves because the entire world descended into chaos. And I'm thinking, if we are going to be the true phoenix of ourselves, whatever ashes we left behind, those are not ashes. That's rocket fuel for our success.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you think about all of the different kind of trials that I've had in my own personal life, I always believe that those are really just given to you as part of your, like, a test to, like, bring you closer spiritually to your purpose. And if you look at them, like, as a gift, as opposed to, like, something that is, it is a trial, it is a test, but it's part of your growth to become the better you, then you can just look at it like a blessing. And that's the kind of the way that I've learned to live my life. And it's not easy, and it's something I have to practice every single day. But I definitely hear you when you say rise above, and definitely trying to live my life in that way.
I think you're in such a great time of your life. You're such a family person. You're so anchored, and you can tell that in the music. And now you can just go out and have fun with the vehicle that you started off with, which is music. And I just think that every single thing that you dropped, it's been amazing. I'm going to continue following. So from Let Me Reintroduce Myself to this new slow clap joint, I think it's going to be so cool to hear some more from you throughout the year. So when that album drops, I'll be waiting right here in Cape Town on this radio station, KFM 94.5, ready to play every single song off that album, because that's what people need to hear. The whole story, the story that I got right now.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I love you guys.
Love you more. Cheers, Gwen. Have a great day.
This is a future chart banger. Bubbly